fridge. So this is quite the behemoth of a fridge. It's about a third larger than the fridge that I replaced this out with. But my previous fridge was 100% fridge, and this is a combination fridge freezer. So as you approach the fridge, you'll find that you have a see-through door that's a glass front. That is pretty cool. My cat's a big fan. So we'll go ahead and open that part up first. So this is the beverage center. You've got your ice dispenser and a water jug and a small area up here to hold whatever you want to. You could hold wine bottles, or I've currently got like coffee and milk and stuff up in this part. But yeah, it's like its own little area. You can set this to auto refill for you. As soon as it empties it all, it will just keep refilling it. That's how I have it set. Some people have been having a bug with this button right here, which I haven't had that problem, but if you are having that problem, just tape something small so that there's more contact with the jug, and that should fix the problem if you do experience it. So the whole top two doors here is the fridge part. So you can see the back of the beverage center, a small, very small shelf that is good for pretty much just hot sauces. And then we've got 3 shelves right here. And 2 open shelves, and then a little tiny shelf. And then you've got the 2 fruits and vegetable drawers. Though I've got one just holding cheese that seems to be not having any issues there with holding cheese instead of vegetables. And then you've also got your settings that you can access them here, or you can access them on the app, which I will show you in a minute. But yeah, you can also just change the different settings through this right here. And that is the, there we go, UV deodorizing filter up there at the top. So then this section is the freezer, and then this is your flex zone. So we'll open up the freezer first. So it's pretty small, but you've got 3 shelves on one side, and then 1 open shelf and 1 drawer. And then you've got the ice. So we've got 2 different sizes of ice here. We have pretty normal sized cubes and mini cubes. And personally, I really like the mini cubes and haven't been using the normal sized cubes very often since getting this. And then I currently have the flex zone set to beverage, so I only have shelf stable beverages sitting in this fridge. So I'll show you the settings and then we'll go through the app. So this is the Smart Things app. Sorry if it's kind of blurry. Yeah, so it'll show you what your settings are. You can change them. I'll quickly describe a few of the settings. So Power Cool is if you're someone who frequently empties out your fridge and then you're going to be bringing home lots of huge grocery orders where you want to cool everything off from your grocery really quickly, you would turn on that setting. It's probably not going to be super useful for me, but you can turn it on and off on demand. So when you need it to do that, you can turn it on. So The beverage zone can be set to beverage or to wine and dessert. You can set it to turn the autofill pitcher on and off as you like, change the freezer setting. Power freeze works the same way as power cool, just for the freezer part. You can turn each kind of ice on and off, make it so that the ice doesn't come on overnight in case you have a bedroom really close to this fridge, maybe. But yeah, if you go to, those are these options that you have for the flex zones. So depending on whether you need it to be more of a freezer or more of a fridge, you can just set it to what you want it. It's not super clear what the temperature setting is. When I first set it to beverage, I put some fresh fruit juices in there and they actually went bad after 2 days. So yeah, I clearly should be doing more research into what these exact temps are, but if you use beverage, I would definitely suggest to just use shelf-stable beverages. No fresh juice or fresh milk that could spoil if it's not cold enough. Just keep those in the fridge. So let's talk about some other features. So some people have claimed that they're having temperature stability issues, but I have not experienced that. Nothing has been going bad where it shouldn't be. The door alarms have been working great. So yeah, if you keep the doors open too long, it will beep very loudly at you. And it also notifies you on your, it gives you a notification on your app. So that's been working perfectly. Let's see, quick mention of the water filter. So I haven't had to change mine out yet, but you will just screw that open and pull it out and replace it out with a new water filter. They should last roughly 6 months, but I have really hard water, and I also used up really a lot of water with the manufacturer suggested setting of dealing with a new fridge. So my water filter is farther down than I expected, so it may end up lasting more like 4 or 5 months, but the filter's not really that expensive. A little bit less than $30 right now, so I don't find it too much of a problem. One thing that pretty much everyone else seems to have mentioned as well is the ice. So it took like about a whole week to get the ice going. It was very, very slow to get going, but once it did, it fills up these really well. But you'll probably notice that these are currently not very full. I very recently turned off this because I'm not using it, so I was like, I'll turn this off. However, since I have turned that off, this ice does not seem to be generating out new ice anymore, so I might end up having to turn them both on. So this is definitely set to on, and it's not making ice. So that is a pretty annoying problem, because I decided I don't really want both types of the ice. Let's see, other problems that I've experienced. So I deliberately did not clean this fridge, and the manufacturer says one of the major features of this is it being fingerprint resistant. So yeah, you might have a little trouble seeing, but it is very much not fingerprint resistant. It started to get these fingerprints right away, so that's not true. And then as I showed you, the UV deodorizing filter is supposed to be removing the odors, and compared to my old fridge, this fridge actually seems to be smellier, despite not having any kind of features. I ended up adding baking soda tubs to this after noticing it's not deodorizing anything, and it's still more smelly than my old fridge. So that's kind of disappointing. I'm hoping that at least maybe the UV is killing germs in there. The company doesn't discuss it, probably because they don't want to have to live up to any promises, but the UV should be killing germs, so let's see. So I only had the choice to get counter depth, and I couldn't get any other options on this fridge. So I actually really don't like the counter depth. So let's go to this side here. So you can see that these doors are super thick, and I thought we were gonna have plenty of room, but yeah, we have ended up having to pull out the fridge, and it's still like, let's see if I can, so this is my wall, and yeah, so I can't open the freezer all the way due to this counter depth and how thick the walls are, so that's something to keep in mind with this fridge. Let's see, some other issues are I have some shelves that don't fit anywhere, or that ended up not really working that well. So this seems like it should go in the beverage center, but it doesn't fit there. So I don't know if they gave me one that is not for counter depth or what. But yeah, I have an empty. I have this place where a shelf should go, but I don't have a shelf that they provided that actually fits here. It hasn't been that bothersome since I'm using these tall jugs of beverage, but yeah, I mean, I would expect that it would fit there. So, and then I found that the ice works a lot better if I just took these off. So these fit into the ice tubs, but yeah, they seem to be blocking the sensor that tells the machine to make more ice. So I just took these right off. Let's see. Another issue is that won't bother some people, but it just kind of would be a nice to have, is I really wish that the water jug and these, any of these side shelves, I really wish these were dishwasher safe. So they're not. You have to hand wash them. But especially for the water jug, it would have been really nice to just be able to throw that into the dishwasher occasionally. Also, this, I guess maybe nobody uses butter anymore, but none of the shelf options were covered butter shelves. So that's, I didn't realize that when I picked out the fridge. So just kind of a minor annoyance. And another tip about the ice maker. So the ice falls down to this shelf. Like behind this, there's a whole bunch of loose ice. You can help minimize that issue by just reaching all the way back and scooping forward whenever you need to get some ice. Otherwise, it will just keep making ice until it just kind of, there's like a empty area all the way in the back there where it's easy for the ice to just fall down to the next shelf. So yeah, I think that covers everything I feel about the fridge so far. Overall, I do like the fridge. I'm not sorry that I got it. I haven't had a fridge with an ice maker for many years, so it's really nice to be able to have. This is a good ice system. I would highly recommend you, even if you don't get this fridge, do not get a fridge where it makes ice in the doors. All those fridges end up having serious problems down the line. So I like, even though it takes up a lot of room in the freezer space, I do really like this ice system overall in comparison to the ones where it's in the door. And I did not have the option to pre-purchase the colored glass doors. So this fridge has a number of different colored glass doors instead of the steel. So I may end up buying those. I mean, you can also just buy them separately. I may end up doing that down the line. But I'm just gonna go ahead and just stick with the steel right now. I've never actually even had a steel fridge, so it will probably end up being pretty scratched up by a year or two, because this also scratches up really easily. But I like having all this magnetic surface. So just to let you know, if you get all glass, then the glass part, you cannot put magnets on it. So if it's steel, you can use magnets. Even if you did get glass though, as you can probably tell, this is a magnet. So the entire side of the fridge is magnetized, so you'll have some options there, even if you just decide to go with the glass. It depends on how much use of magnets that you typically get with a fridge. And another issue I have not fixed yet is it's kind of subtle, but you'll notice that all of the doors are not really quite even. It's not causing any problems with the fridge not working or sealing correctly. But if you're really fussy, they give you a lot of sort of shim type of things, and there's also some stuff you can screw and unscrew to sort of adjust each door. So that's something you might have to do if you want the fridge to be perfectly even. Yeah, so I will try to update this after I've had this for about a year or so. We'll see if it starts to develop temperature problems, or if this beverage center starts to develop any problems. But overall, I do like this fridge, and I think who will really like this fridge are people who have a particular use in mind for the flex area, who really like this ice cube system, and people who are just constantly going through fresh water, like for your water bottles to carry around with you, or fresh filtered water for your pet bowls, or people who like to, you could actually use this jug if you want to just make like iced tea or fruit infused water if you want. So if that's a convenience that would be really helpful for you, then this is definitely a good fridge to look at. Yep, so feel free to ask me any questions in the comments, and I think that just about covers it. Thanks.